10 seconds to get that or gonna get caught on camera.
Boo.
Take it.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Town of Port Royal's July regular council meeting. Our first order of business is going to be our Pledge of Allegiance. Councilman Hayward, would you lead us?
Yes, I will. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next will be the invocation. Mayor Pro Tem, please.
Father, we thank you for this opportunity as we assemble before you to conduct the businesses of our constituent in our town. We thank you for the decisions being made tonight that are in the best interest of those whom we serve. We thank you for each of those that is in attendance, and we thank you for this country. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Our first official business now is minutes approval. In our packets, we have had minutes from budget workshop of June 7th, the minutes from a public hearing of June 7th, minutes from a council meeting of June 7th, and minutes from the council meeting of June 22nd. What is the pleasure of council?
I make a motion, we approve the minutes of the budget workshop of June 7th, public hearing of June 7th, the council workshop of June 7th, and the council meeting of June 22nd.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Were there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. That's unanimous. Council briefing, any updates?
Just a couple things. Noah and Brooke have been back out and about, getting ready for the next phase of sidewalk construction, interfacing with residents where necessary. So hopefully you'll see some of the progress happening there. Brooke, I kind of confirmed for you today that we're still looking around the beginning of September for the work for the resurfacing of the roads.
Very good.
So that's exciting, and hopefully will be wrapped up before the end of the calendar year. I mentioned last week a little bit about the shrimp dock, but we got a letter from our lawyer thanking us and how excited he was. He was actually going to come down and take a picture of the dock with no boats on it. So we're excited about that. The CDBG project, you had some questions about when they would wrap up and be able to tie in. Every document that was required by BJWSA has been signed, notarized, and hand-delivered. Hand-delivered, so hopefully we'll get those people tied into that system as soon as possible.
Good.
And that's all I've got.
Council, questions for the town manager?
No, sir. Do you foresee the construction beginning before the end of the year?
Road?
No, on a dock.
A dock?
No,
No. Okay.
you will see the demolition of the dock before the end of the year, but
Demolition.
not construction.
Okay, the demolition, well, that's the work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mobilization and demolition.
Mobilization and demolition on the shrimp dock by the end of the year?
Yes,
I was
sir.
asked about that.
Absolutely.
That's
Very
it.
good. Very good. Anything else? Okay, next item is, it's our pleasure, we have a proclamation tonight, and I will go ahead and read this into the record. So, the Town of Port Royal Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week, celebrating Gullah Geechee land, living, and legacy. Whereas the Africans began arriving on the Sea Islands in the 1500s, and whereas the populations of these Africans increased as shuttled enslavements grew in the 1600s, and whereas the Africans began to engage with, and in some instances create families with the indigenous Americans in the region, and whereas the descendants of this group are called the Gullah Geechee, and whereas this group of self-sufficient people came together in 1999 throughout the Sea Islands and Low Countries of the Carolina, Georgia, Florida, to stand for their human rights and self-determination, and whereas this group took 1 year to elect their own leader, and whereas this elected and sold St. Helena Island native, whose family roots are also stemmed from Palawana and Data Island, Queenie Quit, chiefess of the Gullah Geechee Nation, and whereas Queenie Quit has served as the official head Punapande and spokesperson for the Gullah Geechee Nation since July 2nd, 2000, and whereas the theme of this year's celebration is Gullah Geechee, Geechee land and living legacy, and whereas we support the continuation of the Gullah Geechee culture, heritage, and sustainability of the Gullah Geechee Nation, now therefore I, Mayor Joe DeVito, and Port Royal Town Council, here do proclamate July 29, 2023 through August 5th, 2023 Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week, and call upon all citizens to celebrate the citizens of Gullah Geechee Nation under the theme of Celebration Gullah Geechee Land and Living Legacy, dated this date today, to 2023. So thank you again for everything that you do tonight. Also want to group up together so we can get a picture of everybody. Oh, yeah. Standing behind them. Yeah. Can you get everybody behind us?
Got everybody? Thank you. Hold that. Stay there. Yep.
Thank you.
Ready? Ready, 1, 2, 3. One more. Perfect.
Thank you again for everything you do.
Thank you, please.
Reach out.
Thank you to the town. So glad to be here one more again. And just want to make sure to invite all the 100 children to come over, because just like last year, we going to launch Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week right here in Wee County, right on Wee Island in it, Rudder Owen. So, okay, right on St. Helens Island. So for the first time, we going to actually launch at Penn Center. So we going to do that this year. For the first time, we're going to have Gullah Geechee Family Day. So that's going to be the last Saturday in July 29th. All right, starting at noon and things like that. And I see all 100 children your head and things that not this year, so y'all get there. Y'all can get me overstand now. Y'all doing good on the Gullah now in Port Royal. Y'all ain't looking at me strange anymore. Y'all understand it. So I appreciate it. So yes, Saturday, July the 29th, come on over the bridge. Bring your boats or whatever, because y'all know you'll probably get there faster by boat from here to St. Helena. Come right on to the dock at Penn Center and join us at 12. And like I told them last night in the other town, over in the other city, in Beaufort, I said, well, technically, we're supposed to end at 4, but that 4 might end up being 4 a.m. if y'all bring good dancing shoes instead of 4 p.m. because we are going to have great music, great food, and of course, a very positive and uplifting atmosphere. And so we are looking forward to everyone joining us. The museum will be open that day. Darrell Hall, our Reconstruction Era National Landmark Historic Park site there will be open, and I'm looking forward to when we can come back here and shout underneath the Emancipation Oak and things like that. I know you got some plans moving forward there as well. And so at some point, we can have the family day right there under the Emancipation Oak right there in Port Royal. But in the meantime, come on across the creek. We're looking forward to you celebrating with us. So thank you one more again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep. Tough date for us. See what we can do. Next item is I'm going to open it up for public comment. This time is normally reserved for public comment for items that are on the agenda. We didn't have any specific items on the agenda, if you've looked at that, but we are going to be adding an agenda item tonight, if the council votes to do so, for a support of staying within the Metropolitan Planning Organization that has been in existence, which is all of Beaufort and Jasper County, that looks at the larger transportation rather than creating a smaller one or creating our own. So if there's anybody here that wants to comment on the MPO or knows anything about the MPO, you're more than welcome to come up now. If not, I'll open it up later for public comment of non-agenda items. Hearing nobody talking about the MPO, we'll move on to the next item. It's going to be an addition. We're going to add it to the agenda. We'll move on to the next, which is the council action and a conversation on reducing the speed on Paris Avenue. Have you have any conversation in the last week?
And it was suggested that y'all take formal action, asking staff to change that speed limit to 22 miles per hour. I'll let you provide the explanation to the audience if you'd like, based upon the conversation of last week, but staff would like an endorsement of that so that we can move it forward.
Police department's okay? Chief said they can support that 22 miles an hour and doing that? Okay, so the conversation came up last week, if you were not here, was brought up by me. Specifically, I'd recently learned and received a letter from the VFW here about the number of veterans and the suicide rate among veterans in the U.S. And the handed us some more information, and we have that here in front of us tonight, that there are 22 veterans every day who die of suicide. And we want to, in some way, support that and bring that awareness to the town I get a lot of phone calls about traffic and speeding, and to me, it just made sense. Is there any way we can bring the two of these things together and to really get this word out? So I am in support of and counsel your decision to reduce the speed on Paris Avenue to 22 miles an hour, to work with our marketing group to how we can get this out there and why it's 22 miles an hour and the reason for that, and get this information out about how we can protect and bring awareness to our veterans and help them in any way. So that's the conversation. Council, please add in anything you'd like at this
You
point.
cover it nicely, Howie. It's
I'll say,
a nice gesture.
no, I thought that was a great letter from AM Vets, which is a great place here in Port Royal. And talking with some guys from OpFob, which is a great organization, they told me a statistic that was startling. That was essentially since the beginning of Operation Iraqi Freedom 2003, more veterans have died by suicide than have actually died in those campaigns. And that was startling to me. So I think this is great. I would ask, just thinking about it, I was going to see if we wanted to go even one step farther at this time and direct staff to, can we look at dropping in Rebo Road and maybe Casablanca as well too, from 25 to 20? So 22 down Paris Avenue, we get some, and like I said, I would get press out about that. And while we're at it, just, because we all get the phone calls about speeding.
Town speed limit is currently 25 miles an hour, right? So that is our current speed limit amongst the entire town.
That's what I'm saying, if we're dropping Paris to 22, can we just go ahead and drop 20 and within the town?
Town-owned roads.
Town-owned roads.
Town-owned roads.
Anything town-owned roads.
So it wouldn't be
But I
Casablanca
think that
because they're not
the
counted.
significance of
that's it.
22 was the 22 suicide victims.
You're saying leave
Yeah.
side roads 20?
20, yes.
And Paris Avenue remain 22?
Yeah.
Or do you want to drop all of it to 22? It's just a,
I like that idea.
I like that.
Go
idea.
left.
That's fine. I was just thinking just to
All
kind of
town
just
roads.
drop them all. Like, let's just kind of, while we're at it, while we're doing one road, let's drop them all.
I have no problem doing them all. I think,
Drop them
now,
all
when
to
we say
22.
all, we need to make sure that everybody
Yeah.
understands. We only have
Town-owned.
control over roads that are owned by the town of Port Royal. So Casablanca's not owned by the town of Port Royal. West Vine Drive that I live on, not owned by the town of Port Royal. So those roads would
Drayton
remain
Drive.
whatever they are currently at now, because getting that speed limit change is almost impossible to do. I have no problem taking it to the whole town. We have to think a little bit how quickly we can buy new signs, how many signs, how do we get all these signs up? There's gonna be a pretty good
What type
impact
of
to the
fiscal
budget.
impact will
the
that
only
have?
thing I think Sands Beach Road we reduced lower than
It's
It's
15.
15.
15, so we would leave that one
Uh-huh.
out.
Leave that alone.
So could we not write the highway department and ask for a reduction in the Casablanca Aerovan to
You
try to
have
get
do
that?
it has to be, there has to be a traffic study that accompanies the request. We did this on Rebo Road when it went from 45 to, we asked for 35, we had to do a traffic study.
They took it to
and
40.
then they reduced it to 40.
Okay.
So,
I support, the reduction also, but I'm also interested in knowing what type of fiscal impact it will have to replace all of these signs.
Honestly, $1,500, $2,000 probably.
So that's
top
about
end.
reasonable, okay?
We can do that.
Okay, but I think we can manage that.
well, can I ask you a question about the signs? And I'm glad you're going to segue into that. What can we do to make the sign unique? And how does the sign look? I'm just kind of spitballing things right now. Is it an American flag in the background? I don't know, but how do we?
They,
It has to be
in order
DOT.
to comply with state law
DOT.
relative to traffic enforcement, there may be some specifics that have to be. Now, that's not to say that you couldn't put something under the
Underneath it,
sign.
right, there's a.
That's what we have to do an information below the
recognition of-
regular sign.
Just how do we raise awareness?
Right.
Instead of just putting out 22-mile-an-hour speed limit, how do we raise awareness?
And when
Right,
they
I
look at
agree.
that, then there's something that actually lets them know what the motive
I
is.
happen to know somebody that makes signs.
Do we?
So-
Oh, we need to go to that guy.
There we go.
You
So-
got one already done for you?
I'm making sure I can get my supplier, yeah.
Yeah, so I think what we should think about here is two things. I fully support 20. I honestly didn't think we'd support 22 over the whole town, or I would have started with
Yeah,
that.
just
But
like drop
I have
them
no
all.
problem with 22 over the whole town in
You
that
don't put a
way.
governor on my car?
But I've put a governor on your car. What about the thought of 22 over this whole town, no issues with that. The signage has to be the requirement for the Federal Highway Administration, and there's an entire state that's in trouble right now because they skipped one word on their signs and they're can't enforce the speed limits there now because of that. So it is a reality. And we just do the awareness with the secondary signs on Paris Avenue, on the main part of town.
Yes.
So that way, because that's the walking street, a lot of people see it there, and we double the signs up there, which is the speed limit sign, and then something that brings this to the awareness of everybody right on Paris Avenue.
Yeah, I'd like to see the American flag in it and say
Something.
22 veterans,
Right,
you know, raising the awareness, 22
right,
veterans.
exactly, so we can do two
I
signs
don't know
that
what it
meets the
looks
full
like.
requirement in that
And then a
way.
little sign
On Paris,
Yeah.
yeah.
On Paris.
And then the side streets should just be regular, just
Yeah.
Right,
street
regular,
signs, just-
regular speed limits.
Yeah, that's great. I think
And
that's
you
great.
maybe could even, we maybe could even put a big sign on the entrances coming in here saying Port Royal supports awareness
Yeah,
for the
we
vets.
can find some ways to do something more with this.
So it'd be larger.
And,
What do you
and the police department's good with this and everybody's good with it. Ron?
We used to do what, 22 and a half?
We used to do 22 and a half, and they got stole. Hopefully, they won't steal the
21 and a
22s.
half.
Well, let's,
And I just wanted to say, I know we're talking about town and roads and, you know, the speed, but on the roads that we do not own, we are looking to create that speed bump prototype that is in compliance with the DOT. That is all over Charleston on DOT-owned roads, so we'll have an opportunity. to put that
Ridgeland, Main Street, front of the post office.
in- Yeah, in places.
Like a speed table?
speed
It's a
table.
speed
The
table.
official word is
Okay.
speed table.
So we're working on the prototype that we can install those in places.
Correct.
All over, regardless if it's town-owned
Right.
or,
But we have to submit encroachment permits to install them at
yes,
each road.
yes.
It's just
And we have a
people,
running list of where we're putting all of them.
yeah, because Casablanca gets all that traffic. When there's a wreck, they all circle through
Not,
Casablanca.
not even a wreck, it's a way to avoid the long right turn, they use that. They see the long right turn, and then they turn left on Casablanca, go around and come try to cross over at the Waddell Light
Waddell, yeah.
to get onto Les Island. They cut down Lenora, they cut down Drayton, all to stop not being in that long line that backs up to make that right turn between about 4:15 and 5:15, that at 1 hour, so. All right, we need a motion.
Yeah, so-
It's a council action, so we need a motion from council. So the motion would be, we can do two separate motions. One is to change the speed limit on all town of Port Royal roads to the 22 miles an hour in recognition. The second one could be to hang a sign,
Secondary sign.
a secondary sign
Under.
Explanatory, yeah, some kind of
Yeah.
sign that kind of explains.
to raise the awareness of that.
Right, yeah.
So-
Well, I'll move that we approve administration to move forward with reducing the speed limits on all streets within the town limits to
Town-owned roads.
Town.
town-owned roads, reflecting the 22 miles per hour in recognition of awareness for the number of veterans dying daily of suicide. That would be my motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And then the second motion?
The second motion, I would enter a motion for administration to acquire a secondary signage to place under the 22 miles per hour, recognizing the awareness, bringing awareness to the rationale behind the 22 miles per hour.
Good enough.
There you go.
We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I'm sure we'll see samples next month. All in favor signify by saying aye. Not only do you have a task, but you have a
Is
task.
there a website with that information? I was thinking a QR code.
We
Yep.
can give you this.
We will give you this, and you can find the information you need off of that, I'm sure.
Like
Okay?
I said, AM beds, op fob.
AM vets could help. There's people in the room that could help in that way. At this point in time, I need a motion to break from the agenda to add an agenda item for Resolution 7-20-23.
I move that we break from the original agenda to include Resolution 7-2023 to the agenda.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Ben, you want to explain this resolution, please?
in 2012, there was an MPO or metropolitan area kind of designated that included Hilton Head and the Bluffton area. The northern Beaufort County area, including both Beaufort and Port Royal and the unincorporated area, northern Beaufort County, are now large enough to constitute their own MPO. However, considering limited resources and staffing at LCOG, it was suggested and discussed at the Northern Regional as well as amongst planners that that MPO join with the existing MPO. The reality is there's no significant increase in dollars associated with having your own MPO. The reality is that if you did do your own MPO, you'd have to stand up the staffing and everything else that goes along with it, and there would not be any real substantial advantage to doing that. So it was a consensus of those involved in those discussions that we join with the existing MPO. So this resolution would basically a resolution to continue membership with the Low Country Area Transportation Study Metropolitan Planning Organization and to adopt the geographical boundaries for the Low Country Area Transportation Study. And if you look, and I'm just going to scroll down real quick to give you an idea.
It's not on the screen.
Yeah, give me 1 sec.
And while Van's getting that up, I've been a member of LATS since before I sat here on council. I was on it as part of the CTC, the Planning Commission. LATS is currently looking at this area and has done a lot for the regional. And part of the conversation when we were talking about whether to keep one MPO or go to 2 MPOs is because there are so many people that travel from north of the Broad to south of the Broad each and every day, and then back again in the afternoons. We wanted to make sure that that was looked at, and the best way to have that looked at is to have one MPO that's looking at all of that aspect. So that's a little bit more of the conversation that happened at the meetings.
And
Go
this
ahead.
is just the new geographical boundaries for the 2 MPOs that we put together, obviously, north and south, within the blue line.
Very good.
So
So,
we-
questions?
Well, I was
Open it
just-
up, you can do a motion, and we can open it up for discussion, however you want to handle it.
I was just going to ask, not that I have any problem with it, but why did we just add it? Why did we just get this?
Timing has changed. They have
Okay.
to put a packet together to get to the state so that the money doesn't get held up
Gotcha.
and all the money gets released. And timing is different than what we initially
Okay.
thought. Is that,
Yeah, it was an oversight. We had end of July, June 22nd, we moved real quickly right after July 4th and met the next day. So staff, we missed it, so
Yep.
we just wanted to add it.
any other questions?
And they need this for, is this new? Is this something we've done in the past?
Never done in the past, because this is the first time north of the Broad has reached the level of being classified as an MPO. We were added into the MPO that was created south of the Broad
Good.
as the LATS committee. Now
So-
we classify as our own, and we either have to stand up everything twice, which means LOCOG would have to manage 2 MPOs
Right.
instead of managing the one and doing the entire region,
So this is just for us to stay in
to stay in it.
the
But
one that, the one that we're just looking at?
Correct.
Okay.
And the only way the state will allocate
By
the
resolution.
dollars into the one MPO is if there's resolutions from the members, the government agencies in this MPO to say we're voting to stay into the one.
Yeah, they have have that package put together by early to mid-August to submit.
And say that all the municipalities
All
are
the
on board?
municipalities are
and
staying in-
Are
staying
all
in
the
this
other
one.
municipalities on board?
And we're not the only one in the state
Beaufort's
that's
already
done this.
endorsed
There
Gotcha.
I think the Greenville.
Greenville has done the same thing.
Okay.
I think there's 3 MPOs that have been doing this to keep it as one
I guess
one law.
just asking questions, because
Yo, yeah.
just got it.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Entertain a motion.
Move that we approve Resolution 7-2023.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. Thank you, Councilman Ashmore. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? None? It's unanimous. Thank you.
Yeah. Important information to dates, July 14th through the 23rd is the Beaufort Water Festival. Thursday, July 18th, from 4:30 to hopefully 5:30 p.m. I noticed I'll put that in there. Here, there's a redevelopment commission meeting, so no pressure there. And July 26th to the 30th is the Municipal Association of South Carolina annual meeting.
Yes, which all of council will be attending, which is going to make very difficult to us to attend your July 29th
We'll be-
celebration, because we will all be out of town. But we escape and come back now. We'll see if what we can do for representatives. Anybody have any other dates, council, any other dates they'd like to add to that list? If not,
Waterfest, y'all ready to go?
We're ready.
We'll get there.
You have a
We'll get there
question?
Friday.
I'm going to open it up to public comment, and it's a perfect time to do that then. So I'm going to open it up now to public comment. Queenie, please come up.
Yes, just on your items you were discussing, I'm not sure if y'all are aware of the DOD website for SkillBridge, but I recently went to Washington DC, probably the same day we crossed in the airport, to discuss a number of things with the Department of Commerce. And one of the presentations that was done was about this program called SkillBridge. And us being really, truly a military county, I thought it was an awesome thing that you can have businesses register to allow active duty military to actually be part of SkillBridge, so they would still continue to receive their benefits and their pay for about, I believe it's the last 18 months of their tour of duty, but then be able to be interns and other things in businesses. And we can have businesses, and I'm sure the town could register to be a part of this SkillBridge program, and then also have our veterans know more about this, because I've mentioned it to some veterans and they had no idea that it existed. So when you were talking about your awareness campaign, I thought that this was a perfect thing also, because having that support system and having that opportunity to really feel engaged and to learn some new skills and feel productive could also help benefit people psychologically and spiritually. So I thought that this might be something good to incorporate in the campaign on the 22.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
Thank you
for
very
adding that. We'll look that up. So once again, we're opening up the public comment. Each comment should be held to about 3 minutes, please. First is David Stillwell.
Like I'm on TV. This is so exciting. I watch y'all every week. This is a great day.
Now you're a part of it.
Now you're part of it.
So glad, so excited. Thank y'all for having me. So
Remember, there's thousands of people looking at you.
I'm so nervous. So
Smile.
my
He's at the
name
water
is.
festival. He's fine, I promise you.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I had some more hair back then. My name's David Stillwell. I live on 14th Street with my wife and a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. So it's good times in the neighborhood. I love Port Royal. I love my neighbors. I love this country. I'm grateful for the freedom, rights, and protections that we are all given to do and be nearly anything that we desire. I do not ask that anyone's rights be taken, only that all rights be protected. I'm here to talk about the Pride Festival event mentioned the last council workshop. This event has been proposed to happen at the location of the Live Oaks Park on Saturday, November 18th. I want to talk specifically about the rights of the children who will be at the public playground, not 50 feet from the proposed event. PR Code, Port Royal Code, Section 1247 makes multiple references to the enforcement of SC Code 1615-305 as it pertains to the protection of minors from harmful material. Just some excerpts from that 1615-305. It is unlawful for any person knowingly to disseminate obscenity. A person disseminates obscenity within the meaning of this article if he, super long list. For the purposes of this article, any material is obscene if the average person applying contemporary community standards relating to the depiction or description of sexual conduct would find that the material taken as a whole appears to the prurient interest in sex. I said, what's prurient? I have no idea. It's having or encouraging an excessive interest in sexual matters. I asked Google, what is a pride event? An event celebrating lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer. These events also serve as demonstrations for these legal rights. We are talking about purely sexual matters here. In light of those written laws, codes, and ordinances, I believe we have a responsibility to protect the children of Port Royal from public displays of sexuality in all forms. By allowing a pride festival or parade in a public space where children are present, we would be directly violating their protected rights. I ask the council to allow no additional forward motions of these plans, and I close with this plea: protect the children of Port Royal with the same prudence and diligence with which you protect our trees, and I do appreciate the tree protection. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have, may I approach the bar? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I have, just for you guys, the actual codes in reference. Want to make sure I wasn't just blowing smoke. This first one's the PR code. And the South Carolina code is much more in-depth. There's 2 pages. Should have done it back. Jerry, yours doesn't look as good. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened to the one.
You're fine. I got the information I need.
I can read it.
Thank you for bringing these comments to us.
Yes, sir. And I think some of y'all have my number, email. If there's any further documentation, anything any of y'all need from me, please call, email, text, any of the above. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Tim Ball? Tim Ball?
My name is Tim Ball. I'm on 15th Street, and I just wanted to echo what Mr. Stillwell expressed. You know, I recognize that we have the freedom of speech and expression, but within the law. And my hope is that this event, if it's permitted to go on, specifically the parade, that it would be well supervised, and enforcement would be present to supervise that, and that all laws would be recognized. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Sammy Smalls? Excuse me. Samuel L. Smalls?
Samuel.
You wrote it that way, so I'll say it that way.
Oh, yeah, that's my name. 1503 Robinson Street, Port Royal. Of course, you all know me. I'm down here pretty often. I take back everything I was thinking about you all for what I heard tonight. I heard, this is joking now, I heard that, am I correct, that there will be maybe not a study in Casablanca, but some kind of speed deterrent? You spoke of a box or something like that?
Yes. Speed
Table, yeah. As you know, I've been coming down here for the last year and a half, trying to ask you all to do something with John Parker Park as far as playground equipment and everything. You know, I was so fortunate to be here on, I think it was January, when your auditor was here and told you that all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, and said, oh yeah, you might, for lack of a specific amount, said you got about 7 point whatever million set aside. You know, you're growing that little, and I realized that's no money for a town, because I was part of the council as well. That can go in a heartbeat like insurance. But what I'm here more specifically to say is I want to thank each and every one of you. I thank you from the last meeting I was here on last month, the second meeting, council meeting. The way I was treated, it kind of encouraged me to say, you know, maybe I need to run for council. I'm retired, you know, and I'm not doing nothing. You know, when I served one term, and then I ran for mayor after that and lost. But I said, maybe, and I talked to my wife, maybe I need to run for council, because, you know, the clock is going on right now for 3 minutes, and before I can make my little argument last council meeting, the town manager blew it. I want to know, what are you talking about? What are you thinking about? I'm like, oh my goodness. You guys, I expect you guys to reply. You work for me and the rest of these citizens of the town of Port Royal. He works for y'all. And as you know, I applaud him when he first came, Mr. Willis. I applauded you for being such a good town manager. But you know, with time and the passage of a little increase in salary, I've seen it happen. So, you know, change in attitude, arrogance, and all that kind of stuff. But I think the citizens of Port Royal probably could use somebody like me to try to get on this council. I haven't decided if I'm going to run yet, but I've done it before, and I think I'll be here more often so they can hear me, those that attend, and talking with my neighbors and constituents, because I think I'm needed up here. But I haven't made up my mind yet, whether to run this upcoming term or next term. But thank you all for encouraging me to that point. I said, this is unprofessional as can be. Mr. Owens, when I was speaking about the clock is going.
3 minutes
Yeah,
up, sir.
when I
Wrap it up.
was speaking about the speed limit, Mr. Owens said, that's a state road. I got home, the Spirit told me, said, I don't care if it's a federal road. You know what I mean? It's a park right there, Casablanca, the park, and you all did a good job maybe of removing the chain link fence. But as I sit on my porch, I've seen a total of 6 kids come running out of that fence that you replaced it with, chasing behind a basketball or something. So when do we consider time to do something to deter the speeders coming through? When somebody get hit, killed, or whatever, it's too late. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? If not, I'd like to recognize Councilman Howard. As always, thank you for coming to our meetings, and if you have something to say, please, you're more than welcome. And the clock does not start for another council member.
2 things. We talked about a ribbon cutting for the playground. July's over for all intents and purposes. I can coordinate with Van and staff to see if we want to do it in August or September.
Sure.
Okay.
That's perfect.
It looked like, I went by it earlier this week, and it looks like it's complete. The construction is 100% finished now.
So maybe August would be
Yeah,
good.
it looks really nice.
Okay.
We were working on parking.
Yeah, we just need to do it with Shannon Weber.
Okay. We can coordinate with Shannon.
Yeah, for
Okay.
parking, yeah.
All right. And I'll make sure just so we all do it together. Bookmobile tomorrow at Port Royal Senior Center. I just wanted to remind everybody they're going there regularly Thursday from 11 to 11:30. So just
It's every Thursday now?
this month it was.
Okay.
It changes, but
Okay.
anyway, I just thought
Get
we
something
need
out on
to.
Facebook about the bookmobile? for
Yeah,
tomorrow-
it's
for tomorrow?
tomorrow from 11 to 11:30, and then of course there's some other locations. They go to the Y too, but just wanted to make a plug for the senior center. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Nothing else. The next item of business is our executive session.
Anybody else?
I already asked. Anybody else?
Going once? All right.
That's it. Next item of business is to go into an executive session, so I will need a motion.
Make a motion to go into executive session to discuss matters pertaining to the town of Port Royal and legal, what is it?
Vested rights.
Vested rights.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you, everybody. All in favor,
Thank you.
signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We'll be entering executive session. Welcome back, everybody. I'd like a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. No action will be taken from that executive session. I'd like a motion to adjourn. We need a full vote because we had to break from the agenda. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.